Welcome back. Bricked Up Gaming's back. How's everybody doing? We did pretty good at locals. We went 3-1. Had a fun time with Hecahands with a splash of some snakes. So we get the profile. I've been really high on Hecahands for the past couple weeks, but playing the crap out of some versions of these decks to try to find the right fit. And I think this right now is the best combination of cards for it. Um, could be wrong though. Could be wrong. Let's jump into it. To start, 3 Hecahands Ibtel. Reveal, shuffle back, special summon a Hecahands monster. Pretty nice. 3 Hecahands Yadel. Uh, Reveal, shuffle back, add a Hecahand spell or trap. Pretty nice. Hecahands Gygus and Breus. They both can summon themselves when your opponent adds a card to their hand, except during draw and damage step. And then Breus is an ignition effect to randomly pick a card in your opponent's hand. If it's a monster, you can summon it. Gygus is activate the top 3 of your opponent's deck. If there's a monster, you can summon it. Pretty nice. It's knowledge. Knowledge wins games. 3 of the hidden Hecahands. Not only does this card look cool, it's a very good card. You could send a card from your field to the grave. You could set a Hecahand spell or trap on top of adding a Hecahands monster. So you can add one of these guys, and then you could set one of these, Yadal and Ibal Hecahands. They are good. Monster negate. When you pop the monster, negate it. You can special summon it. Yadal. You can spell and trap negate. When the opponent activates it, you can negate destroy. Then you can take it. So I took an MST with this against Radiant Typhoon, which is really funny. And then a Hecahands Tartaros, which is a bounce for a spell and trap, or it's a fusion. I never used it for the bounce effect. I probably could, but it's really, really, really good to to fuse with. It's pretty good stuff. Um, Going into the next part of the deck, which everybody's gonna roll their eyes about, because I know I do when I see it. It is some snakes. So we'll go with the Saji. We'll go with the Kusanagi. 1, 2, 3 Aramasa. I love Aramasa at 3. I think you could probably make a case to run Kusanagi at 2, but I think Aramasa is really clean at 3. The deck feels pretty good like this. I did hard draw Aramasa once, and I went, normal summon Aramasa, let the effect resolve, but then I could just hit Hecahands and send it away. Because I think the Hecahand stuff gets you enough monsters on board and enough resources on board where it doesn't really matter what you send. Murakumo is there, Habakiri, Murakumo, and Futsu. I gotta stop calling him Murakumo. I did it a lot last night. I could see a world where you run more than one Murakumo, actual purple dude. Um, I didn't. It didn't come up a whole lot, but I could see it. Obviously, we're gonna pray in this deck. It's pretty easy. One ritual, one mirror, the necessary cards. I could see another world where you run more than one Mitsurugi ritual. I don't want to play it personally because I think I brick enough as it is. Um, Great Purification, just an insane card, and then 3 pre-prep because you have to play pre-prep. That card's also very good. I got a lot of starters in the deck. We're at 41. We could probably bump it up to. I probably will bump it up to 43 because if you noticed, I don't have Nightmare Apprentice, so I'm probably gonna bump it up to 43 when they come in the mail. That's probably what I'll end up doing. Um, Non-engine, 2 Mourner. This card's actually really, really, really good. 2 Ash, a necessary evil and good. 2 Ghost Spell, and then 3 of one of the best cards in the game, Fua. So we have a healthy dose of non-engine. I think that's 9, 11. I can't count. That was not supposed to be a 9/11 joke. I don't know how many that was. I didn't count. Fusion wise, 2 Jowza. This card is the lifeblood and really a good consistency card because you can add a Hecahands card from deck or graveyard. Pretty good. And then one I think the best cards in the deck is Hecahands Xeno, not Ground Xeno. Shout out to Adon for playing Dinos yesterday. Hecahands Xeno, which you can fusion summon with Tartaros, banish 3, and then you make Hecahands Xeno. It needs to be 3 Hecahands monsters or monsters your opponent controls, I think is what you can do. You can once per turn during the main phase a quick effect. Look at 2 random face down cards of your opponent's extra deck, then special summon one of them to my field. If Hecahands Xeno leaves the field by your opponent's card effect, no, I lied. This fusion summon you own and control is destroyed by your opponent's card effect. You can take control of any number of monsters your opponent controls. Which, what does that sound like, people? Where is he? Where is he? That guy. So I had a really funny interaction with Ray in round 3 where he tributed the Murakumo, and then he goes Chainlink 1 Murakumo, Chainlink 2 Mirror to shuffle back. And I went, okay, cool, Chainlink 3 Tartaros to fusion summon. And he goes, sure. So I went and banished Yadel, Ibtel, Gigas, and then I summoned Xeno. And he goes, what does that do? And he read it, and he goes, this card's busted. And I went, it's not that crazy. But, I figured he read it, whatever. Maybe it just scares him away from nuking the board. And he goes, Murakumo to Raigeki. And I was like, sure, Xeno to just look at your extra deck and just rip one. And I pulled an aggregator, and I go in, okay, cool, it popped. I think it was like these two were on board. I said, cool, Xeno effect to take the board. He goes, damn, I just read that card too. So we took his stuff and we played, and it was hilarious. A cool interaction with Gygas too, and Breas is, especially into a mirror match. What I did to him was I Gygas, I looked, Aramasa flipped, I summoned Aramasa, I said, hey Ray, watch this. He goes, what? I said, on summon Aramasa, effect to search, which got me into full combo, which was really funny. Um, Two Garura and Mysterion. Mysterion's a weird super poly target, especially into like Dracoto matches, which is pretty much the only reason why it's there. I could run Secretarion Dragon because I do have it, but Two Garura is fine. I need to run a Mud Dragon, most likely, but that's the fusions. A lot of times I'm making Jowza and maybe hovering on a Xeno potentially. Link-wise, IP, SP, Cross Sheep, Dynamondo, and Saryuja. Saryuja's really good for digging for one of our side pieces. Shout out to, I don't remember their names, they're a couple English gentlemen, but he had this in his side deck, and I really liked it. So I was like, cool, let's do it. Really only came up once. I only drew it once last night. And it was just to kind of dig deeper for more Hecahands monsters or more interaction overall. XZs wise, we play the Goosker because we can pump out some level 4s. Typhon, number 90, which I confused with number 38 with his effect last night and looked like a douche. And then Aluki, the MVP Zombie Vampire. If I can get Zombie Vampire and Gygas in the same turn, obviously not at the same time, but in the same turn, I can essentially look at 7 cards from the top of your deck, which I think is insane advantage just in knowledge to know what you're playing this way. I can try to set up a board ahead of time. Zombie Vamp's really good. Zombie Vamp's really how you bridge the Mitsurugi into the Hecahands. There really is no way to bridge them other ways, unless you rip a Mitsurugi from their hand, or summon a Mitsurugi off of the Hecahands monsters. Side deck, some of the best cards in the game. Droplet is really good. Super Poly, which really only came up once yesterday. Droll, the other Charmy, Triple Perulia. This came up, but it got negated because MST negates now. Evenly matched. And then the side piece that we go search with Saryuja is Anti-Spell Fragrance. So matchup-wise, match 1 we played against Kyle Shook. He played Ballas. He actually just topped the OKC Regional a couple weeks ago with going second Gem Night. So that's always a big time playing him. He's a good dude, and he's just insane at the game. He was on Malice. Ended up taking it. It was a really good duel. It was a sweat fest. No pun intended, because it was really hot that day. It was just yesterday. But shout out to Rick at Pink for trying to make us comfortable. It was just hot. But good duel. We ended up winning. We go round 2. We go to play. His name was Shane. He was playing MST Radiant Typhoons. I did flip the Yabal Heck. I think it was Yabal Hecahands or Ibal, whatever. The one that's monster spell trap negates, and set his or his MST. And he goes, "Oh, I wanted that engraved." And I'm like, "I know, you can't." So we go game 2. He sets a pretty big board, like makes it happen. My big issue round 3 was I'd never summoned Ground Xeno, and I really, 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 really wanted to. So I had both my Hecahands trap set. I had Jowza. I had 2 names engraved. And I was like, dude, I want to make Xeno. So I Tartaros in my turn to make Xeno. I ripped his Albion. I summoned his Albion. And then he goes, cool, draw phase, Super Poly. And I went, oh. Because if I hold the Super, or if I hold, just in general, then I have my traps live. So I ended up losing that. That's my fault. I shouldn't have done that. He probably still wins anyway. Just because I hold and he gets rid of my board or does something, then yeah. Maybe. We'll see. We never know. We don't play hypothetical Yu-Gi-Oh! Round 3, we played against Ray. We played into a pure Mitsurugi deck, which was tremendous for these cards to just steal his cards. Now I'm playing, like, that's our deck that we're playing. Round 4, we played against, I believe his name was Dakota. First time I ever played against Elf Note Fiendsmith, and it just wasn't close. He was a cool dude. It just wasn't close with the cards we drew. We hit interactions the right way. We popped boards. We Murakumo'd boards, and Murakumo's just a cheat code. That card's insane. Mitsurugi's so good still. All roads lead back to Habakiri. Shout out to Josh. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to play. Hecahands Mitsurugi. It was really fun. I believe it was Kirk that said, if you want to make a bad engine good, mix it with a good engine. So I didn't feel like I bricked a whole lot. Well, I mean, we bricked on some cards, but these cards are really good to bait out interaction. And then if your Mitsurugi stuff doesn't work, then you have this to fall back on. And you realistically end on 2 insane counter traps. So, this deck I actually played against Ian in a dark match after the tournament, which we got third. I don't think I said that. We got third. We did get some OTS packs, and I actually pulled an ulti Silhouette Rabbit. So we might add a Silhouette Rabbit in here for, I don't know, we could do it for the extra Garura. We are at 41 cards, probably going to go to 43 once the Nightmare Apprentice comes in, the 2 Nightmare Apprentices, because I feel like that would just help consistency. Maybe go to 44 with an Azure statue, Orange Statue Azaroon if we put in the Silhouette Rabbit. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. The dark match, we played with Ian, yes, before I lose that. I played through 6 interruptions through his White Force board, and we just ran out on the 6th one. That was like our last push, was through the 6th interruption. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I want to keep playing with it. Might take it to the regional, who knows? I feel like Hecahands can be sneaky good. Be careful with the illusion effect. It could get you in trouble if you can't punch over boards, but it's fun. If you got any comments, leave them down below in the comments. That's what they're there for, obviously. Shout out to the boys at Pink. Adon was there. Zaya was there. Johnny was there. Ian was there. Ian showed up late. Shout out to boy Ray. RJ Gaming, LLC, if you need cards. Dude's legit. I don't think he has a link yet. But yeah, it was a pleasure to make it down there finally again. Went 3-1 with Hecahands Mitsurugi. A lot of fun. As always, don't be silly. Wrap your willy.